I broke up with my boyfriend of 6 years because he cheated on me, and 3 days ago I found out that he unalived himself because I wouldn't take him back, and now everybody's blaming me for it. I'm pretty much being cornered by everybody in my life, and my mental health is declining by the day, so I'm really left wondering if this is all really my fault. So me and my ex have been together for 6 years. I was introduced to him because of a close friend. We met at a party, and he was everything. I pretty much fell in love with him as soon as I saw him. Like, he was attractive, he was funny, he was everything I wanted. Back in June, I started noticing like some really small red flags. Like, for instance, he's always been a good looking guy, but he's never really been the type of guy that spends like a lot of time getting ready. All of a sudden, he was just spending twice as long getting ready in the morning before work. He would put on twice as much perfume. He would spend like 30 minutes doing his hair, and he barely had hair. So I never said anything. I never made a big deal out of it. But what made things worse was when all of a sudden too, like coincidentally during that timeline where he started to put more effort into his looks, he also started coming home late from work a lot. Or how instead of spending the weekend off with me, like we both had weekends off from work, he would prefer to spend it with his friends. This became such a frequent thing that I started asking him, like, why do you never invite me to come hang out with your friends? He just said the typical. He said it's boys' night and they also don't bring their girlfriends, so it'd just be weird if you were the only girl there. It all really came crashing down when a couple months ago, he told me that instead of going on a date with me, he had already made plans with his friends, so it would be rude of him to cancel on them, and I blew up. Like, that was it for me. I blew up at him and we had a huge fight, which resulted in him packing his things and leaving. I didn't hear from this man for a whole week. I tried to get a hold of him to know if he was safe, and nobody in his life also seemed to know where he was at. Like, none of his friends knew where he was at. His family also didn't know. Like, he just went ghost. Until after a week, he finally contacted me and said that he needed to talk. Imagine my surprise when he confessed to me that there was another girl involved and how he had been lying to me for all this time, saying that whenever he would tell me that he was hanging out with his friends, he really just was hanging out with her. I blew up at him again, and I wanted nothing to do with him. I was gonna break up with him until he got on his knees, started crying, and begged me not to leave him, begging me to give him a second chance and promising me that he was gonna change for me. And I'm going to admit, I stupidly gave him another chance. It made me sick to my stomach, but I did end up forgiving him. And I just told him, like, there is no way that I'm going to forgive this a second time. Like, you have to cut off contact with this girl forever. And he promised me that he wouldn't, that he would be the most loyal man on earth. And for a while, things kind of got back to normal. We started spending more time together. Things were okay until one friend of mine whom I hadn't spoken to in forever, who also happens to live 3 hours away from where we lived, sends me a text out of nowhere saying, "Sorry girl," with an image attached. The picture was of my ex at a mall 3 hours away from where we lived, holding hands with the girl that he had cheated on me with. When I got home from work, I waited until he got off work too, because I wanted to confront him with everything. But I'll make a part 2 because this is getting too long, telling you how he reacted and what happened until he unalived himself. But let's just say that his initial reaction was the classic. He denied, called me crazy, until I showed him proof.